spirituality. My name is Ife West. If this is your first time on the channel, you're highly welcome. This is a place where we separate the facts from the fiction, the science from the superstitions, and the concept from the misconceptions about African spirituality. Today, I'll be talking about a very important topic. This is the issue of the case of if Africans ate African Americans. This is a situation or a confusion that have been plaguing many people, many African Americans. Some of them appear to be under the impression that deep down, real African people really don't like them, and African people cannot stand them, or just eating them, or just want them for the dollars. This is something that is in the minds of many African Americans, and some of them have actually asked me this question, and I want us to clear it out in this live chat today. Okay, the thing about African Americans is that for some of them, we have a direct historical relationship. This relationship have been on ground for many years before even transatlantic slave trade. There have been cases of Africans traveling to the American continent and doing business with each other. Okay, we have been interacting for thousands of years. This can span very well more than 50,000 years. Africans have been traveling to the American continent, and they have been going back. In fact, we have many evidence to prove that many Native Americans were Black people. So the whole American continent was not just populated due to transatlantic slave trade. We have records of Africans actually traveling to the American continent before the inception of slavery. So we have some Native Africans, or rather some Native African Americans that have been living on the continent of Africa before Christopher Columbus and his gang discovered America. So there are some Black Africans that are indigenous to the American continent. Okay, this is something you need to know first. So it's not every Black person that is living on the American continent is there as a result of transatlantic slave trade. Some of them have been going there before. Some of them have been living there. Some of them are even native of the American land. Some of the so-called people we now call Red Indians today, Shiwepa people, some of them are native Black African people that have now been portrayed as Red Indians. Okay, so you need to know this. So we have a kind of historical relationship with that continent. There have been cases of this record. If you are doubting what I'm saying, you need to read the book of There Came Before Columbus. You also need to read the books of Ivan Satima, Professor Ivan Satima of blessed memory. He wrote extensively of African presence in America before colonization, African presence in Europe and around the world. So he documented many of these cases. Okay, the book That Came Before Columbus contained many of these evidence, academic evidence. Even Christopher Columbus, when he got to America, he confirmed that there were Africans living there before. Some of them told him that they have been trading with African people. They traded spears from Mali, and he took the spears to Spain. They checked the composition of those spears. They were the same composition with those that were being sold by the people living in Mali before colonization. He saw many Black people. He recorded all this in his journal. So many colonizers that went to the land of America, they discovered Black people were already living there before they even got there. So not every Black African you see in America today went there as a result of transatlantic slave trade. Okay, so we have this connection with that continent before transatlantic slave trade started, And many black people were also taken there from West Africa. So based on this uh, trajectory or interrelationship, we have some black Americans that are not so happy with that incident, and they feel that the Africans back home sold them into slavery. That is why they are there. That is why they are suffering today. There are some people that have this mindset, and so they are not so happy today with modern day Africans that they are meeting. Then there are also some African people in the continent that think that African Americans kind of abandoned them in a way, that now that they go to America, they are doing well. They should kind of all come back to try to make this connection with Africa. Then they should be helping Africa to grow, helping Africa to do things. They feel that the Black Americans in the continent are living a very good life. They have too much money. So they should come to Africa and start investing, giving people money, spreading money up and down. So they are not so happy. And there are some Africans too that think that quite naturally that American people, Black Americans are arrogant people, that when they come to Africa or when they encounter them, they look down on them like inferior, primitive people. So they don't feel happy interacting with Black Americans. So they kind of distance themselves, or they say some sort of bad words. But all these are minor cases. They are not major cases, okay? They are just minor things that people think or feel from time to time. This is just individual cases. But one thing you're going to discover is that not many African people today are actually active in Pan-African movements in America and also in African continent. And you find out that technically the African continent is still under colonization. Okay, they are still under colonization, whether you like it or not. We have this they call neo-colonialism that aims to make sure that Africa cannot be able to rise again. Africa cannot be able to stand on its feet. So for that kind of system to work in Africa, they have to make sure that Africa is underdeveloped, undereducated, and misdirected by way of religion, by way of political dependency, economical dependency. Today, you're going to see a lot of so-called programs by United Nations in Africa. They have all their headquarters. You're going to see World Health Organization. You're going to see World Food Program. You're going to see UNICEF. All of them are claiming to be helping African people. For whatever the case, they give this impression that Africans are suffering, that they are poor people, that they are always been poor, and that they need help. So we have all these so-called United Nations organization in Africa, but apparently the people are still suffering and dying since they have been there. So I don't really know the help that they are doing there. So what you need to know that is causing this issue, basically between Africans and Africa America, is there's a sort of communication gap between both sides of the plane, which has been deliberately put there by some people. There is a plan by the colonizers, the people that came to colonize African people. By this I mean the transatlantic slave trade people, the Roman Catholic Church, and the American government that used the African people to build the country we call America today. It was not built by any intelligent economic policy. America is built on slavery. It is built on blood, sweat, and tears and pains of African people, people that were taken from Africa, West Africa, Central Africa, millions of people. This is the history that they don't want us to remember. What they did to us is 100 times worse than what happened in Holocaust to the Jews. So you cannot compare us and Holocaust. America is a very, very brutal country. The white people controlling there, these people, they are sociopaths and they are psychopaths. They are beasts. These people running that country, they are beasts. They are nothing short of that. And they have no remorse. They have no human emotion. They don't have any moral right to be telling people around the world what to do, because these people, they built America on blood and criminality. So these people, they have no moral right to say they want to be police of the world. They are thieves. You cannot get people from Europe, all the kingdoms of Europe, there's 7 ships. This was started by the Pope to go to foreign people's land to subdue them, conquer them, and steal all their natural resources. And you call these people people of high moral standard. These people are criminals. The land, you see so many of these so-called white people in America, people like Donald Trump and his gang, make America great again, those racists. All of them are not from America. They are thieves. Their ancestors stole the land. They are living on stolen property. First of all, they stole land. They stole people to build the country. All they have is stolen. If you minus all these things, you ask them to pay restitution, many white people you see today, they will not have any property because they are thieves. This is why they talk about this First Amendment right to harm themselves with guns all the time. The aim of harming themselves, they are protecting what they have stolen. Okay? That's why they have so many guns. You see them having gun culture because they know that all what they have is stolen. They are thieves. I will say it to their face. So for me, the so-called white Americans, I don't even want to see them. I don't even talk to them because many of them don't want to own up to the crimes that their ancestors have committed. They have this kind of, they want to prove that they are superior to you. You know, when Americans come to Africa, the way they talk down on Africans. That's high and mighty. They look down on you. They talk like they try to portray themselves that they are some kind of superior people that you should be looking up to them. You should be proud that they are there to even talk to you. This is how Americans talk. I have made friends with a lot of people. Sadly, this character, some black people are also copied it too. That when they see their fellow black man, they carry this arrogant attitude to the fellow black man. I have noticed this with some black Americans too. So people don't like this kind of attitude. When you try to prove that you are superior to other people, they will resist, they will hate you, or they will resent you. So Americans, majority of Americans, they have this arrogant attitude. They bully people around the world. They feel that they are the greatest people. They call that American exceptionalism, that they have right to do evil, to do bad things, to do anything they like, and nobody have opinions because they are American. This is the attitude of America, and this is exactly what will fall them down. So this attitude is a colonialist mentality, and we see this a lot. So we need to be talking about history. When you see some of these so-called white Americans that feel that they're so privileged, things are easy for them. When they want to travel, they relax the rules for them. But when you're a black man, they will apply the rules. They want to take loan in America, they can take loan without collateral to start business. You as a black man, they will tell you have to have a very high credit score. Even your credit score, you cannot get the loan. So many things. They talk about this 40 acres and a mule that they give to some people after slavery. They abolished slavery in America. They never give any black family any 40 acres and a mule. They make sure that the black Americans there are suffering and totally disenfranchised. They take drugs to their neighborhood to give the children drugs so that they can put them in prison. Till today, America is still putting people in prison. They're still oppressing black people. We still are not free. We still are not free today. The problem, many were the problem too much. So we have this problem with America. We have this problem with European countries. Many people that go to Europe, so many black people, they suffer all these things. They know that racism is very, very much alive. And we need to do something about it. What you see about this kind of problem is that some Africans, due to the fact that they have been so much bamboozled by the white man, I've seen that they feel that they are powerless against this white supremacy system. The only way they feel that they can be able to have some dignity is to support the system and start oppressing or maltreating their fellow Africans who they feel that they are superior to. So it comes to the case whereby the African, they are the ones that take the blunt of this damage. Whereby you see your fellow African man, you trying to relate with him, they also give you this superior attitude that they are better than you, they are good for nothing, and they maltreat you. You don't have voice, you don't have opinion. Tell you they are better than you in everything, so you don't have opinion, you should listen to them. So a lot of us see this kind of behaviors for some Americans, and people complain. Then also too, we have it's not only one-sided though. We have Africans too that are not so good. Many of them see Black Americans as walking wallets, something to be taking money from, extracting money, that they are rich people, they are living in America. So when we see them, you try to deceive them, defraud them. So many African Americans too that have also tried to still make contact with the motherland, many of them have been defrauded. Many of them have been defrauded online. Some of them have been defrauded face to face. So you'll be wondering that I'm trying to help my African person to do something good in Africa. I try to do a project. The next thing, I give some people money. The money disappeared. I give this one money, disappeared. I give like 3 or 4 people money. They didn't do anything. So they will get fed up. I have seen people in these cases that will come to Africa, try to start a business, think they have met a good African. The next thing, the person will take all the money and they will run away. These people will end up frustrated. They will go back to America. They never want to hear anything about Africa again. These kind of things happen. So these kind of things that bring resentments between Africans home and African Americans abroad. So the problem is that we need to unite, and we need to unite under major organizations, Pan-African organizations, that we be able to screen out the bad elements among us so that we can be able to do something constructive. That is the only way that we link us together. And it should not be that religion. There are cases of African Americans that are Christians. When they come to Africa, they want to promote their Christianity. All they do is promote Christianity for white supremacy. We don't need those. Those people are only helping to impoverish African continents. Just like now, we're having so-called mega church pastors from Nigeria now going to America to do crusade, to take money from there to promote Christianity. People like Pastor Ayo from Nigeria that went to sell key of heaven in America. So many nonsense are happening. We don't need those kind of people. If you meet any African that's a Christian or a Muslim, just know that you as a conscious African American cannot do anything positive with that person. For one, you have to be very, very careful. So the issue is that it's not that every African person hates American people. There have been different kind of cases of what people experience. Based on your experience you have with people is what you will relate to. But in general, I think a lot of Africans, they love American people. American, due to the way they position themselves as kind of number one, they try to detect a lot of things. And we have a lot of talents that were stolen from Africa there, and they are using these talents to develop themselves. America is developed because of the Black people and Mexico people in that country, not because of the white people. I say this a lot of times. If there are no Black people in America, America will be so dull like United Kingdom. You know that United Kingdom is a very dull country. It's the Black Americans that are lighting up the culture in America. They are the ones that are making things cool. They are the ones that are actually innovating, unifying, and pushing the world forward. So we had a lot of people, a lot of influence from America. A lot of good people, musicians, stars, footballers. We have a lot of influences that people go after, that people want to know what is going on with. Okay, so based on this unique position, there is need for African Americans and Africans back up to unite. And this our so-called enemy, our friend, which is this white man, this white supremacist people, they know that the day that Africans on the continent and Africans in America unite, it is game over for white America. So they have a program that they are actively using to make sure that Africans in the continent and Africans in America and diaspora never unite. There's some time ago when some of my people were traveling from Nigeria to America, they have this orientation, visa orientation, where they call you for visa interview. You're going to America, they are going to tell you that as you are going to America, you have to be very, very careful that the Black Americans over there, that they are very lazy. What they do is they take drugs, they do a lot of crime, they do a lot of bad things, that if you as an African go there and you try to connect with them, they are going to put you into gangs, they are going to put you into drugs, and if you get caught, you will go to jail for a long time, your life, career will be destroyed, or you will be deported back to Africa. You can't come back again. They give you a lot of negative information about African Americans in America, as an African going there. So when you go there, you are filled with fear, and your mind have been preconceived that when you see the Americans there, you don't want anything to do with them. You just want to stay on your lane. So you don't join in the Pan-African movement. You don't join them to do it. You don't even socialize with them. They do this a lot to Africans going to America. Then instead you find to socialize with your own people that are a little bit limited in their thinking. So we see many of them don't have African American friends. Meanwhile, while they are doing this to Africans on the continent going to America, these the same white people will be giving negative information about Africans on the continent. They will tell Americans, the African Americans, that you saw these are Africans, many of them, they are from a shithole country. They have so many diseases, they have so many problems, they are like this, they are like that, they are primitive. We are just bringing them here because we are doing humanitarian service. You should not associate with them, you should not have anything to do with them. If they come over here, you get involved with them, you can get any disease or any kind of thing, you are on your own. So Africans on the American continent, they'll also be afraid, the Black Americans, they are also afraid to get in touch with Africans because they have had many negative impressions. And when you are outside Africa, what you see in the news is always bad news about Africa. If you are not living in the African continent, you watch CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera, the only thing you will see is poverty, war, sicknesses, poverty, war, sicknesses. You will think that everybody is suffering the continent. So by the time Africans get there, they are thinking one thing, this other side is thinking one thing, they end up not uniting together. This is a major problem. This is something we need to overcome to break down this image barrier. One thing you need to know is that American media, they have a very powerful way of depicting people in a way that they want the world to see them, or framing people. You will see that if you are living in Africa, CNN, you're watching CNN, BBC every day, you will think that there's no more racism in the world, that the world is perfect, white and black are now equal, you are free to go everywhere. This is what we see in CNN in Nigeria. When you leave Nigeria, you go to Arab country, you go to Asia, the CNN there is different. When they talk about Africa, it's in terms of poverty. They give you an impression of people that are struggling, that don't know their left from their right. You will already be seeing images from DR Congo on ending conflicts. They are good at showing that. Then you'll be seeing Somalia, all the worst places. You will think that we don't have skyscrapers in Africa. This is kind of negative image they will be showing about you. It's very painful. So people that have not been to Africa before, they see this image all the time. Then when they see you, tell them you are from Africa, you tell them you are from Nigeria, they automatically feel that you must be suffering. So they don't want to come close to you. You see this kind of thing? They don't only do this to us, they do this to everybody. They do this, then we go to when you come to America too, they will be telling you negative things about Muslims. Muslims are terrorists. All they do is suicide bombing from morning till night. Muslims are this, Muslims. You think that there are no single good Muslim. They do this to Muslims. Then they will go to the Muslims, they will show them dirty image about you. They do this to everybody. Let me tell you an example. If I'm currently in this country, Philippines. If you have not been to Philippines before, you will think that Philippines is a country that is filled with people that are suffering. that they have a lot of hurricane, that it's only about natural disasters, earthquake all the time. So many people around the world that have not been to Philippines, they think that Philippines is all about natural disasters and earthquake, that is a very poor country. But if you come to this country, what you're going to see on ground, you're going to be shocked with the level of development they have, especially in the capital city. Many countries in Europe, they are not developed. They don't have the kind of structures that they have in this country. So many of the so-called countries in Europe. When you watch the same CNN and BBC, you will think that everybody living in Paris, UK, or Germany, they are living well. You think that there's no single homeless man in Europe. You know why? They never show you the homeless men. They never show you the poor people. They never show you the negative side on the TV about their people. There you think everything is working well, that the only problem they have in Europe is the immigrants. They will only show you African people in cages, in concentration camps that are suffering. They never show you poor white people. You never see poor white people. You never see white people walking on the street. You never see white people pooping in the public. You never see this, but they have those kind of people in those places in Europe. You'll be shocked. So when people are seeing these things, they think that Europe is El Dorado. It's a perfect place. Everything is working. People that have low mentality, they don't have a lot of information. Everybody want to migrate to Europe because of this kind of impression. You see how they use their TV stations to control people's mind? Same way they use this to cause problem between Africa and African Americans. So when we see in each other, we kind of having this stereotype. When you see an African American, the first thing that go to your mind is a gangster. That this guy might probably be a blood and crib gangster, can do this like a pimp, that we come here, we not take serious, we want just to sleep with all the women, do a lot of nonsense, and just go back to America. They give you this kind of impression. Then when you see an African, when I say he came to our country to spread disease, he's a primitive person, he can eat you alive if you have the chance. You run away from the African. So these experiences, people have this notion in their mind. It has been put there by somebody. Okay? It has been put there. So it's not the fault of the person that people have this preconceived notion about each other. Somebody wanted to be like that so that they can control people. People cannot unite with each other. When you watch TVs, you think that maybe we don't have many educated people in Africa. You'll be thinking like that, but be shocked that Nigeria have the largest number of educated people in Africa. Even in America, Nigerians are the most educated people in America. But yet you see so many bad images coming from the continent. All Nigerians, they are scammers. This is what most white people are pushing, that everybody in Nigeria is a fraudster that want to take your money. When you mention this, the next thing you hear is African prince. If everybody is a fraudster in Nigeria, do you think the whole world can survive? But they push this image like it's only Nigeria that are doing fraud. Americans, there's a lot of frauds that their government do. This is a country that they make billions from denying people's visa. You will apply for visa to America like 4 times before you get it. Your application fees lost every time for no reason. Americans run a lot of fraud in Africa. They steal oil in Nigeria many times. They steal our oil. They come to Africa, they steal a lot of natural resources. They sponsor conflicts. They do a lot of things. You see their footprint. It's all about war for them. So who is the bad guys in this continent? When you see people lying, every day they lie in the public. You see real people coming out. They will say you have weapons of mass destruction. Iraq, Syria, Yemen, Yugoslavia. Now we are having Ukraine going on. How they are lying that the Russians are this, the Russians are that, the Russians are evil people, whereas they are the ones that are doing the evil things. They are the ones that are carrying white supremacists to go and fight in Ukraine. If you are sharp, you don't need anybody to tell you who are the bad guys, who are the ones causing all these problems. It's not the Africans, it's not the Americans. Somebody is causing all these problems. We know the people that are doing these things. We know the people. So we don't basically Africans, we like African Americans. Okay, if you're having problem that with some Africans that you say they don't like you as an African Americans, it means that those people, sorry to say, you have met the wrong Africans. We have different kind of Africans. Some of them have underdeveloped brains. Some of them are Negro pins. If you meet a Negro pin, you have not met a real African. Sorry to say this. If you have the people you are interacting is a Negro pin, that's a caricature of an African and a Negropian, you have not still met a real African. So you need to know about all these things. There are some people that are saying some terms, Tika, Ataka, that they call African Americans. I've never heard that term before. The only thing I know is that in Nigeria we have this what we call JJC. JJC means Mugu, somebody that does not know, that just came new, like a novice. JJC is a term for it's not only for African Americans, it's for everybody that don't know how we do things in the place. We call it means Johnny just come, meaning you just got here. You know nothing, you are a green leaf. So whether you black American, you white, you yellow, as far as you don't know the way we do things, everybody will keep calling you JJC or Mugu. Mugu also goes a long way deeper. Mugu might be somebody that is being set up for a potential fraud. Somebody will not know anything at all. We say this person are Mugu. Okay, once they click that term Mugu, it means that you don't know what thing they happen. But later, Mugu, they become master. They get sense later. After one or two things, after you have paid your Mugu fees, you will now become wise. It happens in every place, not only in Africa. So the word JJC is not a derogatory term. It's simply used to describe somebody that just came new. Okay, so that is the only thing we call everybody that does not know anything is a JJC. Johnny just come. JJ, short form. So it's not a bad term. Okay, it's an adjective to qualify somebody. That is the only thing I know. In fact, what you're going to find out is that in Africa, any black American that comes back, the first tribe you get in touch with, we want to claim you because they know that you are a valuable person. You have contacts in America. You can be able to do a lot of things for them. So one thing you find out that there's a lot of African people going online claiming that their spirituality and their tribe is the strongest and the most powerful. And we have some of these African Americans that are looking to connect back to the continent. They will just tell you come from this tribe, you are from this tribe. We are the people, we are do this, you come and join us. And they know that when you come to them, you bring money to them. So many African tribes, they are looking to claim anybody from America. Just say you are searching for your own. You'll be surprised that 10 tribes will say you come from there. You'll be shocked. So many people are looking to claim people. Even Ghana have opened their borders for any black American. You can get citizenship. I don't know what Nigeria is still waiting. They have submitted this law to be approved. But there are some families in Nigeria now that can be implicated in slave trade. And these families don't want this story to come out. So there are some powerful people that their families, their parents actually sold many people in Nigeria into slavery. If we start welcoming back African Americans, a lot of can of worms will be opened. To be honest, in Nigeria, we are going to be knowing families that really participated. We know them. Some of them are trying to hide this history. But we know who some of them are. They don't want all these stories to be open so that your family wealth is by selling people. They don't want this. So they are trying to hide all this stuff. But I know that in the future, we are going to open our borders to African Americans for automatic citizenship. Because there are a lot of people in America now that came from Nigeria. We have traced a lot of Igbo people, a lot of Yoruba people, even a lot of Yoruba people, a lot of Nigerians were taken to America. A lot of them were taken. So these people needs to be given citizenship back, is automatic citizenship. If they want to come and settle, they should be able to come back and buy lands and do something. So this is what I feel about it. So the case is that we don't hate African Americans, okay? I like African Americans. I used to say this word that I am not a racist. I hate everybody equally. I say this word a lot. So based on what I have seen due to my many travels, I have seen white people, some of them that are actually trying their best to do good by themselves. I have seen also black people that are total enemies of themselves and Africa. We cannot say because somebody does not have the right skin color, he cannot be an African. We cannot say that, okay? Race, this humanity is supposed to be deeper than the skin color. Okay, so it's not about skin color, it's about your attitude. If you come to Africa or you approach an Africa with an open mind as an equal, not as a superior, I believe we have a much better experience. Quite naturally, I have problem with a lot of white people because I travel a lot. Many of them have this preconceived notion that they are superior to Africans, that when they see an African, they can just do or say anything. So when I meet this kind of people, I always correct them. I reject that assertion and I always make a statement. So I've been to many countries. I've been to countries whereby I went there for a program. The people were trying to behave to me in a certain way. I tell them to go to hell. I leave the country. I'm not begging to stay anybody's country. I have left 2 PhD programs because of the way the people were trying to treat me, based on the fact that they think that I am an African, they can just ride on me. Some people will accept some kind of useless behavior. Me, I don't accept this, especially from people. If I see that they are trying to push a superior position to me, I will not take the deal. I will not work with you anymore. So attitude matters. Approach people like an equal. Give them some self-respect. If you know they are doing the wrong thing, if you know that you feel you know better than them, don't come and start talking down on people. A lot of people hate that a lot. A lot of Africans hate that a lot. They're going to reject you. Okay, come down to their level, play with them, get there to win their trust. Then you start correcting them. Not you just arrive the next day from airport, the next you start talking down on people, laughing at people, insulting their culture, insulting their way of doing things. You will get a lot of negative response from that kind of thing. Then the next thing you say that the people don't like you. It's like that. So this is how you approach people matters. It matters a lot. So please, you're coming to Africa as an African American, you need to know this. Then you need to hide your wealth. Don't flaunt your wealth in front of people. Don't pose with it your expensive watch, expensive phone, expensive stuff. Hide those things in your America. Bring average things here. If you show those kind of stuff, it's going to get you in trouble. Some people will rob you. There is people that are hungry, will steal, or they will set you up. So do not come here to showcase your wealth in people's face. People that don't have anything, coming to let them know that you are better than them, you're going to have a problem with that kind of behavior too. So if you come well, you respect the culture, the tradition, I believe you will have a much better experience. Okay, so this is the way I see the matter of African and African Americans. I need to still tell you, not every African is a good person too. Many of them are bad people. We have issue of scam, 419. You have to be careful in whatever you are doing. In my own opinion, I think the best way for Africans and African Americans to actually meet, they need to form, like you guys in America need to form like a organization, like a Pan-African organization that you can use to actually interact or do a kind of collective bargaining with African countries or African governments. That is the way you're going to move forward. If you want to meet with Africans one-on-one, you can expose yourself to meeting many Africans will just rush up to want to come to make friends with you. You don't know who have good intentions. But if you come in with an organization, you ask them to join, you can be able to kind of bring a barrier whereby you will select quality Africans that really want to work well. You will know the people coming in. So you can know how to position those people. You can actually know how to get resources, how to utilize the people, not that you just try to do things on your own. Come as an organization, you get people to join, you get their qualifications, you know their capacity. You can actually have a way of building people that way and have a way of succeeding. There's a lot of investment you can do in Africa. Africa is like the only continent you can buy land 100%. To even buy land in America is very, very hard. You can come to Africa, you can buy land, you will own it, you can start business, the land will be yours forever. You can do a lot of cheap investments here that will go a long way, but you need to meet the right people and you need to negotiate from a point of power, knowledge, not just come and any Tom, Dick, and Harry you see, you go and do business with them. The person will use you to enrich their own self, and then you have problems, okay? In the level of spirituality, so you need to know African spirituality. Many people have been scammed. Many African Americans have been scammed through African spirituality. There's a lot of traditionalists in Africa that don't know what they are practicing. They cannot explain it to you. They will tell you they want to initiate you. They will take $5,000, $10,000. They will not teach you anything. They will just give you a piece of paper, bait you in a dirty river, give you some unnecessary things that you don't need. They will say that you have been initiated into African spirituality. To be initiated, you need to know the knowledge, the raw knowledge. Many of them cannot teach you. They won't teach you because they don't want to lose money. Okay, so the struggle is real. The struggle is deep. We may not be kind of close pal, but economically, African Americans and Africans at home might be rivals in a way. So not everybody practicing African spirituality is a real African or have real intention. You should also know this too. Part of the reason I'm teaching this thing on this YouTube channel is so that a lot of people can know it and know what they are practicing. I cannot do the work alone. I cannot. So I need to teach this thing, bring this knowledge out there so that a lot of African Americans can learn it online. You don't even need to come the continent. You're going to know a lot of things by watching my channel and can use them for your own benefit too. Okay, so this is my own kind of way of emancipating or trying to bridge that connection between African Americans, Africa in diaspora. This is my own way of reaching out to them. In a way, we need to come together and unite so that we can fight these beasts that is trying to tear us apart. So the beasts have been at it for a long time. We don't need to listen to whatever they are saying, whatever bad thing they are saying about Africa. He has done worse than that. Whatever he's saying, African people are primitive. Yeah, he's the most primitive person. He's the most uncivilized person. Yesterday, I went out with some of my friends. We were seeing people work. Every people were dressing fine. So I told him that these people you see walking everywhere, if you don't give them food for just 6 days, many of them is going to eat you alive. Many of them will eat your flesh. They will eat human flesh. Most of these humans you see walking around, if they are not eating for 6 days, they are going to eat another human being. It's as simple as that. Many of them are beasts in human form. So forget their nice clothes, forget the way they talk. It is how they treat you. These people tell a lot of lies. They live by lying. That's why you know they are possessed by evil spirits. They lie a lot. They lie all the time. Almost all their life is a lie. These are people that all they have is stolen and that they live by lying. They are pathological and psychological, very deep sociopathic liars. So you should not be believing them. They are news media. They are using it to lie against other people, cause division. So we don't hate each other, okay? We don't hate African Americans. We love each other, and we will do our best to focus on ourselves and grow together. Okay, so this is why I see this topic. I hope that you can see reason with me. So questions or comments are welcome. If you have any questions, it would be nice. I think we have done 43 minutes today. I think I'm going to leave this here. Then if you are new to my channel, I have done a lot of videos on African spirituality. You can watch it. Then if you want to learn more about African spirituality, the hidden secrets, you need to register on my website, www.kindoki.net. I teach African spirituality there. You can learn this in your country. You don't need to fly down to pay expensive or airfare to come stay in a hotel, to come and suffer yourself here. You can learn it from America. Okay, you can make contact with your deities in any part of the world. Time and space is not limiting us from doing anything. So you can contact me for that. If you want to know about the scientific aspect, I have written a book. You can also check me out there. So with that being said, I think I will go today and start my day. I wish you a very wonderful compliments of the season. This is not the new year, but I wish you a very wonderful celebration. And I'll be seeing you in the next video. So take care and bye. Peace.